Hey guys, welcome back to the series of active and passive voice. Press the subscribe button below. Let's do. I am driving the car. The passive is the car is being driven by me. The focus shifts from the subject performing the action to the object receiving the action. Here, I is the subject performing the action of driving, and the car is the object being driven. In the passive voice, the car becomes the focus and the subject of the sentence. The verb changes to a form that emphasizes the action being performed on the car. Thus, I am driving the car becomes the car is being driven by me, maintaining the original meaning. She is making tea. The passive is tea is being made by her. In the original sentence, she is the subject performing the action of making, and tea is the object being made. In the passive voice, tea becomes the focus and the subject of the sentence. The verb changes to a form that highlights the action being performed on the tea. Hence, she is making tea becomes tea is being made by her, preserving the original meaning. Are you buying a book? The passive is a book being bought by you? You is the subject performing the action of buying, and a book is the object being bought. In the passive voice, a book becomes the subject of the sentence, and the verb changes to a form that emphasizes the action being performed on the book. The question form is also maintained in the passive structure. Thus, are you buying a book becomes is a book being bought by you? She was making a cake. The passive is a cake was being made by her. She is the subject performing the action of making, and a cake is the object being made. In the passive voice, a cake becomes the focus and the subject of the sentence. The verb changes to a form that highlights the action being performed on the cake, maintaining the past continuous tense. Hence, she was making a cake becomes a cake was being made by her, preserving the original meaning while altering the emphasis and the sentence structure. They were always blaming me, the passive is, I was always being blamed by them. They is the subject performing the action of blaming, and me is the object being blamed. In the passive voice, I becomes the subject of the sentence, and the verb changes to a form that emphasizes the action being performed on the new subject. The phrase always blaming is transformed to always being blamed to maintain the continuous aspect and the emphasis on the repeated action. Thus, they were always blaming me becomes I was always being blamed by them. They were not cleaning the bedroom. The passive is the bedroom was not being cleaned by them. They is the subject performing the action of cleaning, and the bedroom is the object being cleaned. In the passive voice, the bedroom becomes the subject of the sentence, and the verb is adjusted to highlight the action being performed on the bedroom. The phrase were not cleaning is transformed to was not being cleaned to maintain the past continuous tense and the negative form. Hence, they were not cleaning the bedroom becomes the bedroom was not being cleaned by them. Was he giving a lecture? The passive is was a lecture being given by him? In the original sentence, he is the subject performing the action of giving, and a lecture is the object being given. In the passive voice, a lecture becomes the subject of the sentence, and the verb is adjusted to emphasize the action being performed on the lecture. The question form is maintained in the passive structure. Thus, was he giving a lecture becomes was a lecture being given by him. The girl will be clicking selfies. The passive is selfies will be being clicked by the girl. In this passive construction, Selfies become the subject of the sentence, while the girl remains the agent performing the action. The verb will be being clicked represent the future continuous passive tense, indicating that at some point in the future, selfies will undergo the action of being clicked by the girl. They will be playing hockey. The passive is hockey will be being played by them. Hockey becomes the subject of the sentence, while they remains the agent performing the action. The verb will be being played represent the future continuous passive tense, indicating that at some point in the future, hockey will undergo the action of being played by them. While grammatically correct, this passive construction may sound somewhat awkward and less commonly used. He was writing a letter. Now you tell me the answer in comments. Bye bye. Take care.